Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel if you're new here. Today's build is the last of our manufacturer exclusive build series, and today we are building from Stroud Eklund. The goal of this build was to make a hunter-killer style ship, something sleek, fast, and with plenty of firepower to tackle any challenge. With that theme in mind, I present the Shroud Terror. Now this ship may look familiar. It's the ship from my last video against a legendary ship, the Varun Shroud Bearer. The ship performed well, but I wanted to give it a little bit more. So I swapped out the reactor, upgraded the turrets and shield, and reduced the weight a little to keep the mobility up. The result is the fastest ship in my fleet. This ship has a top cruising speed of 280 with a boosted speed of over 1100, all while maintaining 96 mobility. It's sporting 10 forward-facing particle beam cannons, 4 rear-facing auto turrets, and one of the strongest shields in the game. This ship is ready to play. Now, in order to reach these speeds, you do have to sacrifice something. For that, I sacrificed cargo space. This ship has very little cargo on it. You can increase the cargo capacity, but you'll be sacrificing mobility and acceleration. Now, since this is a Class C ship, you will need your piloting skill and your Starship design skill at rank 4, and be at least level 60 to access all the parts. I also recommend increasing your particle beam weapon skill, your shield skill, your cargo skill, and your Starship command skill up as high as you can to get the most out of the ship. I also recommend having Sam Coe as part of your crew. He gives a great boost to speed. Now the only downside is you'll have to deal with Cora too.
Hello there.
Now that you know a little bit about the ship, let's start our build. Since this is a Stroud Eklund build, we're going to head over to their showroom on Neon. Once you're in the city, turn left and head over to the showroom. Interact with the panel on the wall. If you don't have a ship to build off of, select the option to buy a ship. Pick the least expensive ship on the list and purchase that. Once done, select the option to view and modify your ships. First thing we're going to do is delete your starter ship. We're not going to be needing any of that. I'm going to put the full parts list here on screen. Pause the video here and let's get shopping. Now that you have all the parts, you can see our starting layout here. Make sure you have everything before we begin. Now, before we assemble our ship, let's review how to glitch parts. This build uses this technique a lot, so it's good to review it. If you're already familiar with this technique, you can skip this step. For those of you new to shipbuilding, parts glitching lets you blend parts together. This is used to fit pieces where they normally wouldn't be able to go, or hide parts of the ship under other pieces, or even to create new shapes that weren't in the game before. To glitch a piece, you need an open hook point and a piece that is flippable or has a variation to it. For example, we have this Stroud 2x1 hab with a cap C piece on it. We want to take this Shroud cap B and blend it in. If I just try to attach it, we can see the piece turns red, meaning we cannot attach it here. Instead, let's select the piece and drag it over to our open hook point. And now, while holding your left mouse button, flip the piece and then flip it back. Then release your mouse button and click Escape. This will glitch the piece in place. You can do the same on Xbox by clicking Y to flip and then B to cancel instead of Escape. Okay, now that we have that down, let's start putting our ship together. Now, since this ship uses minimal parts, it should go together fairly quickly, though the parts need to be added in the correct order due to some of the glitching we need to do. We're going to start with our all-in-one hab. Let's move that over to the open area. Next, take your armory and attach that to the right side of the all-in-one. Now take your battle station. Let's put that on top of the other two habs. And this is your hab layout. It's very simple, but it should give you the crew spots you need. Next, grab the landing bay and bring that over to the left side of our hab structure. This should attach to the lower rear hook point of the hab structure. Next, bring over your ship docker and attach that to the opposite side of the ship across from the landing bay. Now let's add our landing gears. Our first landing gear is going to go in front of our ship docker. Make sure it's rotated so the slim edge is pointing out. The next gear is going to go behind our ship docker. Now add two more on the other side, one on each side of the landing bay. Next, we need to place our cockpit. This will attach to the top left hook point of the front of our ship. Next, we're going to attach a nose cap D next to the cockpit. This piece is optional, but it's used to give the ship a symmetrical look when we add the front nose. Now we're going to add our drive section. Take your reactor and attach that to the back of the ship. The top of the reactor should be even with the top of the hab. Next, take your fuel tank and your grav drive and stack them. It really doesn't matter what order they're in. This structure will go next to our grav drive. Next, we're going to place our engines. Take two and stack them on top of each other. Attach these to the fuel tank grav drive section. The top of the engines should be even with the top of the structure. Next, take the other two engines and stack those as well. These are going to attach next to the other engines. But as you can see, we cannot attach them just yet. The engines only have hook points on the front, the top, and the bottom. And our reactor only has hook points on the sides. So what we need to do is create some hook points above the reactor. We're going to do that by using some of the Cap A pieces. Take a Cap A piece and change the variant so it's facing backwards. Attach that just above the grav drive. It should cover the grav drive and the engine. Now take another Cap A piece, change the variant, and flip it so it's facing the opposite way of our last piece. Attach that to the last piece we just placed. This will give us a hook point under the Cap A piece that now we can use to attach our engines to. So let's attach those now. Now let's attach our shield generator. This is going to go on top of our 2x2 hab on one of the rear hook points. Next, we're going to build out the bottom front of our ship. Take 3 of the one space cowlings and bring those over. Flip them so they're upside down and the small end is facing out. These are going to attach below our nose piece, 3 in a row. Now let's do the same on the other side under the cockpit. The middle piece under the cockpit will need to be glitched in, as the cockpit hangs down just a little bit too much. Next, we're going to take our 3 space cowlings and attach those above our landing gears on each side of the ship. Our last 2 3 space cowlings are going to get glitched in place on the front of our ship, hiding the cockpit and the nose piece. Take one, flip it, and let's slide that in where our cockpit is. Now use the glitch trick and put it in place. Do the same on the other side. This hides our cockpit on one side, and on the other side, that nose piece we placed gives the ship a symmetrical shape. Next, take the last 2 1 space cowling pieces, and these are going to go on top of our hab, just in front of the cap A pieces. One piece will slide in fine, and the other piece will need to be glitched in place to hide our shields. Now we can start placing the rest of our cap A pieces to finish off the shape of the ship. Take 2 cap A pieces and combine them together to form a point. Take that structure and slide that on top of the ship. Next, take 2 more cap A pieces and combine them together to form that point like we did before. Now take 2 more cap A pieces, flip them, and place those under the structure to create the nose of the ship. This is going to attach right on the front of our ship. Next, take another cap A piece, flip it, and place it under another one. Take that structure and attach that to the front of our wing section. Now let's create another identical structure, but a mirror image to the one we just created. This will go on the other side of the ship on the front of our wing. Now we're going to create the same shape again, but facing backwards. Change the variant on the cap A piece to face them backwards, and do this on all 4 remaining pieces. Now take one, flip it, and place it under the matching piece. Now let's bring that over to the ship and attach that to the back of our wing. Next, create the same piece, but a mirror image of the last piece we created. And attach that on the other side of the ship. And now that all the structures are attached, we can start attaching our weapons. We're going to start with our auto turrets. Grab all 4 of those and bring those to the back of the ship. These are going to attach to the rear 4 cap A pieces. I put all of mine facing backwards so they're all rear firing. Next, we're going to attach our PBOs. These are going to go on top of our cap A pieces on the front of our wings and on top of our ship. Now the last weapons we need to place are our obliterators. We have 6 of these to place. The first 2 are going to go on top of the front nose of the ship. The last 4 are going to go under the ship. Now, unfortunately, due to how the pieces are shaped when flipped, we can't just place the cannons on those hook points. What we need to do is first remove the piece that is blocking the weapon. Just slide it out. Now we can place our weapon where we want it. And now slide that other piece back in, and then we need to glitch it in place by flipping it. Now let's do the same on the other side of the ship. Now the last two are going to be placed under the front of the wings. We can remove the landing gear and glitch those back into place. Now that our ship is assembled, we just need to assign our weapons. I recommend putting the PBOs on the W0 spot, the obliterators on the W1 spot, and the auto turrets on the W2 spot. Now let's rename our ship. And like always, we know we have to change that factory color. Let me know in the comments what your favorite color combination for ships are. Now our ship is assembled. Now we can see the stats before crew and skill bonuses apply. And here are the stats after those bonuses apply. So let's go tour our ship. Back on the ground, we get a good look at our ship. I like the sleekness of this, and I think if we ever got M-class ships, this would be a great shape for an extra large ship. We have our landing bay on the side. Entering in the ship leads us right into the all-in-one. Through the door we have our armory, with our ship docker at the back. Up the ladder and we reach our battle station. And that's all the HABs. It's very minimal, but with our new HAB customization, it doesn't have to be. Let's head back down to the bottom deck and I'll show you what I mean. Now, as you can see, we have some open space in our armory. All we have to do is activate our scanner and hit the decorate option. Now, I want to put some crafting stations here, so let's start with a weapons bench. And now on this wall, we're going to put the spacesuit bench. And placing them can be a little tricky. And finally, let's put in the bounty board on our back wall. With a couple quick additions, we've added a little bit more functionality to this hab, basically combining an armory and a workshop. I think I'll eventually do a video with some different hab combinations that you can use on your ships. We can head back up to the top deck, and through this door we have our bridge. Now it looks like we have a wall here. It's really just our glitch piece. We can walk right through it. And now we have our bridge. There's some open spots where we can add decorations here too, like cargo containers for extra storage. And that's the end of our video. Please hit like and subscribe to the channel, and click the bell icon to get notified when I upload new videos. I'm Team Scorpio, and I'll see you in the next video.